Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys, and this is Food Wars Season 2 review. Obviously you guys have got, finally got back to you guys with Season 2, and I have watched it. Actually, this video is being made after I watched all the seasons, but I'm just gonna say, I watched after I got done watching season 2 of the anime, and Food Wars season 2 for a 13 episode season of season 2, or what they call Food Wars the Second Plate. It was really freaking good, and this show continues to impress me more and more. So, anyways, season 2 covers the fall, what did they call it? The fall elections, which is the first half, and then it focuses on the stagiaire, little thing that they have to go through. So yeah, season 2. Obviously, I'm not going to talk a lot about season 2, as I do, as season 1. But Food Wars season 2. Obviously, the first half was really good. Some of the battles were crazy intense. What battles can I point to? Soma versus Alice, it was a good battle for what it's worth, but Soma just ran through Alice. Ryu, and if I'm when I'm saying, well, Ryu ran through Megumin, and I was like, Megumin, one of my favorite characters. I'm like, oh, come. I'm like, no. But it's one of those things where it's like, you saw it and you're like, oh, crap, Megumin's going to lose. It was like when Ochako won up against Bakugo. It's like that type of thing. And then, you get the whole, you get the whole thing between Aldini and Takumi and Mimasaka. That was intense. Oh my goodness. That was one of the best moments this season when Mimasaka beats Takumi, because Takumi wants to prove that, to Mimasaka that he's wrong about, the way he cooks and stuff like that. And my goodness, that battle was intense, because when you find out that Mimasaka is essentially undefeated, well, at this point in time, he's undefeated because he essentially copies his opponent's way, the opponent's ways he cooks, and kind of studies, how they are, and he adds a little bit onto what makes their dish better. And when he would beat them, he would take away their most prized possession, which would be, something that they like to cook with, the most thing. And if for what when he beat Takumi, he took the little double wielding, blade he had. And that was really emotional when he get that away, because it's like, oh goodness, he failed and he lost. And this was one of the few times I was like, what's going to happen? And then when Soma fights him, dude, oh my goodness, you're like, he's going to lose. Soma's going to lose. How is he going to counteract Mimasaka? And then someone pulls literally a rabbit out of his hat and beats him. And it was like, when he kind of owned him too, from the standpoint, is like, you're not really improving yourself as a cook if you're just only really stealing on other people's. And, he got back, everybody's prized possession. And it essentially made him much more of a likable person. I really like that. That was one of my favorite, Food Wars in season 2. Was Soma versus Mimasaka. That was really good. Obviously, that was good. Another good thing was, the Soma and Erina interaction scenes. They're obviously a joy to, see, because obviously you see the hints that she likes him and stuff like that. And yeah, things happen. I would say for the first half, and before I stop talking about the first half of season 1, I just gotta say the Akira and Ryu battle, are how you guys the Ryu Hayama battle. That was incredible, and it's crazy because it's like how because the openings, like the openings, they're the type of openings that kind of show you what's gonna happen throughout the season and like just cut things because it's like well in the opening it shows someone going up against Akira and Ryu. Um, and it's like, okay, how would that happen? Oh, wait. It's obviously Ryu and Akira's match is going to end in a draw. Lo and behold, it ends in a draw. And essentially, someone has to take both of them on. And they have a nice triple threat, food war. And it was so close. Now, when I was first watching this, I'm like, someone's going to win this. He's going to win this. And no, he doesn't win because Akira wins because he made the food that only he can cook. And it started out the whole, and this was where it started out the whole, thing in the storyline of Food Wars where it focuses on, what, each chef can cook. What is their main dish that only they can cook? It was interesting because that was the one reason why Soma, lost because Akira essentially edged him out in the aspect of that was one dish Akira could make, on his own that no one else can replicate, no one else can do or make as good as he can, you know. And that's where we got a lot of, this was really, for the first half, this was Akira's, little arc. It was, we get more, development. And even later down in line, this is where, stuff like that. And like I said, going back to, the dish only, the certain character can make, that really does essentially pay off in the end. And, as really the season, as really as the rest of the season progresses with Soma, because he focuses on it, and then going into season 3, and even at the end of season 4, I won't spoil anything for season 4 if you guys haven't checked it out, or if you guys know what I'm talking about. But that was something interesting. Obvious, it was one of the cool things we got to see. I guess another cool thing we got to see during that thing, we got to see Alice's mother. So obviously we see, Alice's mother. And, I found funny is, in just a regular, like, public, speaking role, she is dumb as bricks. Like, literally, she was speaking like she was a caveman or something like that. Like, you want meat. Huh, I love to eat. And it's like it was funny. Now, for future reference, I was watching the English dub of Food Wars, not the subbed version. I watched the first 3 seasons of Food Wars dubbed. The 4th season has yet to be dubbed, but when the 4th season is dubbed, I will be watching the 4th season. But I watched the 4th season. I watched all of the 3 seasons dubbed. So if you hear me say like Akira because that's his first name, that's what the dub calls him by instead of Hayama. That's why I say their first names. But it was cool to see, more of the Nakari family. It was funny. I also thought it was funny when the director was just essentially, literally, like just ripping stuff like that. And I forgot the reason why. I think it was called like The Giving or something like that. Or no, The Gifting. The Gifting. When essentially a Nakari family member just like essentially strips down and they don't even realize that. And it was like, oh, well, okay, that's interesting. Stuff like that. But going back to Alice's mom, it was funny how she was, when she wasn't focused on the food, she was talking really stupid. But when she was eating the food, she was sounding like really, really freaking smart. And she spoke the English fluently. And she wasn't speaking in caveman terms. I was like, okay. Stuff like that. Obviously, they still have the same, funny, over-sexualized scenes. They never get old. It's just, yes, it's interesting to look at, but it's still funny at the same time because it's like, okay, these people are having food gasms over food and stuff like that. Now, the last couple of episodes, which is really the last three episodes of the season, it focuses on Stagiaire. And that's when, you know, we get really good character development from Hisako, which was Erina's, you know, her bodyguard. Now, I believe in the fall elections, she lost to Akira, and because of it, she feels like she let down Erina, and she blames herself for it. And when she talks to Soma about how she sees Erina, as a friend and somebody close to her and somebody she knows she can go to, you know, because Soma question was like, why not just go see Erin and talk to her? And then I think Soma's the one that says like, look, aren't you guys like friends or anything? She wouldn't care if you lost as long as you guys are still friends at the end of the day. That means anything. And it was nice to get some backstory, and some character development to Usako because we see in her backstory she's known, Erina since she was a little girl herself, and she was helping her out with everything. And I did like the one episode, which was episode 11, when they worked at this little nice little mini restaurant, and they essentially worked together. Or they had to work together to essentially, you know, make the place get more sales, and they actually worked pretty nicely together. And because of it, Hisako grew a liking to Soma, and unlike when she first thought of Soma being a I guess like how everyone perceived him. He was like, Soma's not a bad guy. He's actually pretty smart and he's really good in the kitchen. Obviously, you can interpret it. They had something going on between the two. She felt some sort of way about him, but she kind of, I would feel like she, felt about him like, that's a guy I can say he's a good guy, and that's a guy you can go to and trust. Um, it was nice to see, an episode between, characters that you don't see a lot. And the crazy thing is, with Megamine, she was with Erina, and the two kind of, especially Megamine and Erina, they understood each other a lot more in their stagiaire thing. And which later also, as like I said, pays off in season 3 and 4 and stuff like that. So, it was all good. And this is where like the seeds are planted for that whole big group that's later going to be developed into season 3 and season 4 of, the friend freshman group, essentially. It was interesting to see what the others were doing for their stagiaires. And even going back to Aldini, he said he won't take, his blade back from Soma unless he beats him, because he tells someone like, look, you keep it until I can beat you in a food war. That's when I'll take it back. Now, the next episodes of season 2, before I wrap this video up, they bring back I be- Kojiro. If you remember, Kojiro was the a hole teacher at the camp arc, where he literally was talking crap on Soma and Megamine for their food and stuff like that. And this is when we get more focus on him and, him and Soma. And, Soma learns a lot from his French cooking, which he later takes on as his own, as him growing, to be a better cook. And, you see that at first, Kojiro is really hard on him. And, he is really hard on Soma, but you know Soma like learns from certain mistakes, because at first Soma's blown away with how fast the other chefs in his area were working, and they're like, well, these guys are working fast and stuff like that. But he didn't. Even when he messed up, someone's like, okay, that's my bad. I'm sorry. Like, I'm gonna get to the next thing. I'll make sure I make it up. And then you see as time progresses, he actually gets better to the point where even the other chefs are like shocked, like, oh, he's actually like legitly grown and stuff like that. And then episode 13, which is the last episode of season 2, it caps it off when Soma finally learns how to make his own special dish. It's not, like Kojiro said, it's not as good as it should be, but it's doable and stuff like that. And obviously, Soma from his time in the Stagiaire has grown and stuff like that. Now, also, if you don't know anything about the Stagiaire, just a quick review is essentially, the students have to essentially do like, I guess, a little mini testing period in like a live, restaurant cooking experience, and they have to show what makes them special in this stagiaire. It's like, I guess you can say like an internship, like a little mini internship, like what's special about you that you can bring towards, the kitchen, or what can you bring towards a restaurant that is different from, say, the common worker. It was an interesting take and stuff like that, and it provided another challenge. And like I said, Kojiro, you hated him at first, but then I hated him at first, but then I really grew to like him. I was like, you know what? He's not really that bad of a dude. He's just a guy who really likes to keep to himself, and he wants to only better himself as well. And when he gets that moment when he talks to Soma, it was pretty cool to see, because he's like, look, make sure you're taking everything and you keep working hard and stuff like that. Now, Kojiro does later show up later, especially when it pertains to another character, one of the main cast members. If you guys have seen it, but for you guys who are now checking out Food Wars and you're just catching up with my reviews, yeah, you'll see what Kojiro does later in the future, what pays off for another main character. But season 2, it really was another good season. Now, my opinion, do I think season 2 is better than season 1? If you ask me, season 1 and season 2 are on the same level, especially from the aspect of the fact that, season 2 continues what season 1, left off in their cliffhanger. It had its great moments, like the triple threat, food battle between Soma, Akira, and Ryu, and stuff like that. But really the only new thing we got was the Stagiaire mini arc we got in 3 episodes. So yeah. And that's really it. This season was obviously shorter than last season, which was like 24 episodes. This season was only 13 episodes. But even for 13 episodes, I feel like they put a lot, and it wasn't rushed by any means. If I'm going to say anything about Food Wars that I love, is they can have a really short season and put so much into it, and it probably doesn't feel rushed. Now, some things obviously do feel rushed here and there, but obviously it feels like you're getting, like, honestly, a whole hour's worth of content in it. And it's really intriguing and stuff like that. And, as season 3 progresses, that's when things turn up for the better. And that's when things really, and I mean really, start to get heating up. But season 2 for Food Wars, another good season for just only a 13 episodic season. Really good. And season 3, I can't wait to talk about that, because season 3 is one of my favorite seasons. If not, is my favorite season. I'll see when I talk about it when it comes to season 4. But yeah, other than that, stuff like that. And also another quick mention point, they do like the whole aspect where someone gives the little love, the manga things Erina was reading. He was like, yo, yeah, Hisako, I can't stop by Erina's place, but could you stop by her place and give her these books? She wanted me to bring it to her as a way of saying I owe her, something like that. Now, that later is paid off later on with another future character in Erina, but yes, you can obviously see this is where, Erina starts to, I guess, tolerate Soma a tiny bit. She's still annoyed at him, but now we're seeing that she's now starting to tolerate him more. She's not talking all crazy around him. She's not bothered by the sight. She's like actually talking, having, conversations with him every now and then. So yeah, other than that, that's really all I got to say for season 2 of Food Wars. It was another good season, and season 3, I can't wait to talk about that. So other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll catch you guys in the next video. So if you like this video, leave a like. If there's a comment you want to put about season 2 of Food Wars, go right ahead and put your thoughts on season 2 and what was your favorite moment from season 2. Other than that, hit the subscribe button if you want to get more, well, the rest of the season 4, or the rest of the season reviews of Food Wars, as well as, getting Food Wars season 5 episodic reviews, when that finally airs next month. So other than that, I'm going to get out of here. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.